just had my ears waxed and my nose waxed, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It was so painful. I do not advise anyone to get it. In fact, my right ear is bleeding so much, I've actually had to stick some... That's how bad it is. It's kind of stopped now. But this is the Jasmine Palace Beauty Salon. It cost me €10. This is thanks very much. And this is what's happened. My ears are totally clear of hair, but I don't think hair will grow there ever again. But it's bad.
Black hills of Dakota, to the beautiful Indian country that I love. Lost my heart in the Black Hills of Dakota, where the pines are so high that they kiss the sky above. And when I get that lonesome feeling and I'm miles away from home, I hear the voice of the mystic mountains calling me back home.
And now for something completely different.
We're off to Cairo. We're just making our way to the departures. So we'll see you in Cairo in about a couple of hours. Just me, Lorraine and Kyle.
Look at me like you look at him. The way you flirt with him, the way you dance.
Cairo is the capital of Egypt and is the country's largest city, being home to more than 10 million people. And as we drive through this busy metropolis, our guide Sharuk explains the ancient Egyptian Old Kingdom mythology and what to expect when we eventually reach our destination, the Great Pyramid Complex of Giza. A Dutchman called Ed has joined our family trio, a delightful chap who continues the tour with us. The temperature in Cairo is slightly cooler than Hurghada, but it's still in the high 30s. There are no queues at the ticket office when we arrive, and Sharuk leads the way with her documents and passes in hand, eager to continue with her abundance of pharaonic knowledge. Sharuk studied for almost 7 years before receiving her master's degree in Egyptology and is more than keen to answer our questions and try, with all her cerebral might, to dispel some of our disbelief at what we were now walking through and witnessing with our own sceptical Western eyes.
You're going to see too many tombs on the east, too many tombs on the west. The rule is, any tomb you find on the east is a family tomb, relatives. And anything on the west, these are high officials or just workmen who lived during the time of the king and they wanted to be buried next to him. So you would know the social status of the person from where they are. Everything was located at a specific place. That's why I told you everything has a rule. Okay? So where do you usually find the entrance?
North side.
Very good. And most of the elements, not all of them, most of the elements are on the east. So we are now on the eastern side.
One has to acknowledge that although these massive structures retain the basic form of a pyramid, they once were much wider and taller, with a smooth, intricate frontage, angled with exact precision, smoothly plastered with limestone and finally adorned with a gilded capstan at their peak. A massive earthquake hit the Cairo region in 1303 AD, dismantling much of the outer casings of the pyramids, creating mounds of valuable material which was salvaged by the ruling Mamelukes of that time and was used to build their own palaces and mosques. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest Egyptian pyramid and served as a tomb of the pharaoh Khufu, who ruled during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. We cannot help but scratch our heads in disbelief, for in order for this colossal masterpiece to have been constructed, the men who once laboured upon this ancient project 5,500 years ago would have had to lay each one of the 2.5 ton blocks every 4.5 minutes. You see, there were originally 2.5 million blocks, each one quarried at the nearby area known as the Central Field. And then there are the 25 to 80 ton perfectly carved blocks of granite stone which were used to form the ceilings of the King's Chamber and relieving chambers, each block transported by boat from a secondary quarry more than 900 kilometres to the south in the southern city of Aswan. We enter the Great Pyramid of Giza.
I'll show you, look.
To see it is to believe it. is an adage which is turned upside down, for when we see with our own eyes and hands the red granite 40-ton blocks used to create the burial chamber, we simply don't believe it.
I am sitting all alone now. I'm nervous, nervous to the bone. The lack of patience drives me crazy, so I keep staring at my phone. Yes, I'm falling in love with this boy I just met. It's been days since our first kiss. Should I call or should I wait for it? Hey, it's me calling. Don't know what else to say. You make my blues fade away. I'm free falling. I don't know what else to say. No one makes me feel this way. I try to think of the things that I like, but nothing really tastes the same. Oh, yes, the picture of him on my mind makes me call him up again. Yes.
Driving our camels across the sandy terrain with the three most dominant, ancient and iconic pyramids of Giza in the foreground was an awesome experience and a memory which will stay with me forever. A dream come true for the three of us. Onwards to the Sphinx. When I first set my eyes upon the celebrated Sphinx monument, I found it difficult to hold back the tears, for another dream was coming true. A gentle stroll towards our viewing point takes us past the original harbours, where the boats unloaded the huge stone blocks required for the construction of the pyramids. The River Nile flowed through here before the Aswan Dam was completed in 1970, only 54 years ago. We pass through the Giza mortuary, where the high priests would prepare and embalm the dead before their journey to the underworld and eternal life, where their souls would be reborn. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a limestone statue of a reclining sphinx with the head of a human, thought to represent the pharaoh Khafre, and the body of a lion, representing strength and great power. The original shape of the Sphinx was cut from bedrock and has since been restored with layers of limestone blocks. 73 metres long, or 240 feet, from paw to tail, and 20 metres high, 66 feet, from the base to the top of the head. Driving through the city towards the Museum of Egyptian Antiquities has its moments, and hairy scary, and if there is a highway code of Egypt, no one in this big city has read it. The smog is dense, automobile air pollution mixed with the stifling heat must be almost unbearable for those on the outside of our air-conditioned luxury minibus, and we are so glad when we eventually reach our destination.
Friends on the phone. Size that door.
The Cairo Museum houses over 120,000 items and is the biggest museum in Africa. Among its many ancient masterpieces are Pharaoh Tutankhamun's treasure, including his iconic gold burial mask, widely considered one of the best known works of art in the world. We see the mummies of pharaohs whose tombs we visited whilst we were at the Valley of the Kings, and so much more. If you ever get the chance, you must visit this place of wonders. It is, without a doubt, a gobsmacking experience. Our long day in Cairo finally comes to an end. We charter a small sailing vessel from a dock beneath the Four Seasons Hotel, where we get a chance to see the city from a totally different perspective. The River Nile shines with a melancholic, papyrus-dappled flow, eternally tracing its way from Lake Victoria in Uganda along its diverse and controversial 4,130-mile course northwards, before eventually embracing the Mediterranean Sea at Alexandria. The River Nile was, still is, and always will be the lifeline to whatever future the people of Egypt decide to choose. But we have a couple of hours left before our flight back to Hurghada, so we chill.
That's it then. 2 weeks. 2 weeks here in Hurghada in Egypt. And we've had a good time. It's been absolutely fantastic, as usual. I mean, we always have a good time. Egypt is, it's full of surprises. Yeah, full of religious bewilderment. The kids have experienced another culture. You know, it's what we try to do, me and Lorraine. We try to give them a different perspective from Scotland and make them realise that Scotland is probably the only place to be.